Stan Skotnicki here. Just wanted to say thank you once again for subscribing to our expedition. We will be posting more journals as we're getting closer to our departure date, and then we'll post quite a bit, 3 to 4 times a week while we're in the field in Siberia. Today I'm down on the Niagara River, just downstream of Niagara Falls. I'm catching up with Mike Loranty, who is the researcher that I was linked up with through PolarTREC, and we have some questions for him from some of my students at Cheektowaga Central. He's going to do his best to answer the questions, and if you have any more, please comment below and we'll try to put it in our next video series.
Hi, I'm Mike Loranty. I'm an assistant professor in the geography department at Colgate University. I study Arctic ecosystems and climate change.
What did you study in college?
I went to a college called West Virginia Wesleyan College. It's a small school. There are about 1,500 students there, and I studied environmental science while I was there. When I graduated, I went to graduate school at SUNY Buffalo at UB, and I did my PhD there in physical geography.
Okay. How did you get involved in studying climate science?
Well, when I was finishing graduate school, I was looking for postdoctoral research opportunities, so that's like research training after you finish a PhD, and I came across one that involved work in the Arctic, which seemed pretty interesting to me, and luckily I got that job, and so kind of that's where I started, and then I liked it well enough and kind of continued to focus my research efforts on the Arctic. So it's fun because I get to ask interesting questions and go interesting places.
What is the focus of your research?
So our project is looking at how ecosystems, how vegetation influences permafrost temperatures. There are a lot of different ways that can happen. So you can imagine going into a dense forest on a sunny day. Once you get into the forest, it's cool, it's shady. The temperature of the soil is lower because of that. So we're interested in things like that, and the reason that we're studying how ecosystems affect soil temperatures is because in these permafrost soils, there's a lot of carbon that's stored away there, that's frozen, and if you start to thaw these soils out, that carbon in the soil also thaws out, and then it's available for microbes to munch on and decompose it. And when they do that, it gets released to the atmosphere as greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide or methane, and then it becomes important for global climate. So we're trying to understand how vegetation, how soils, how ecosystems as a whole, how they influence permafrost temperatures and how they might control the rate at which soils thaw out and carbon goes back to the atmosphere.
Well, thank you for joining us. Make sure that you are following us at one or all the following outlets. You can find us on Facebook at Stan Skotnicki's PolarTREC Expedition, on Instagram at Skotnicki PolarTREC, on Twitter at Stan Skotnicki, and of course on the PolarTREC.com website. Under Expeditions, find the vegetation impacts on permafrost. So thanks again, and stay tuned for more as we are gearing up to deploy on our expedition to Siberia starting June 16th.
We're out there.